All right, guys, we're back with another video. It's been a few days. I can finally talk somewhat again, so I've been waiting to make this. Today we're talking about diesel engines. Is it worth buying a BMW diesel engine or any diesel engine over a gas engine? Now, remind you this, a long time ago, diesel used to be cheaper than gas. It is no longer that way. It hasn't been that way since probably the early 90s. Diesel on average is at least $1 more a gallon, especially lately. Lately, it's actually been $1.25 to $1.50 more a gallon, and that makes a difference. But what kind of common issues do the engines have versus the gas engine? There is a lot of differences here. So we're talking about M57, N57, right? N47, which would be four-cylinder diesel, and B57. Okay? These engines have a lot of failure points, actually, and they're all kind of the same failures, and they have not been fixed over the decades. So the older M57, which is a six-cylinder diesel, is pretty much exactly the same issues as the M47, which is the four-cylinder diesel of those years, right? So your swirl flaps go out, turbocharger failures, EGR and DPF clogging, the vacuum lines and boost hoses get rotten. You got to replace those. The harmonic balancer crankshaft pulley flies apart. It's two-piece. All the diesel engines have had those issues for a long time with the crankshaft pulley. High carbon buildup. Unless you do the EGR delete, the DPF delete, you're going to have carbon buildup. Glow plugs and glow plugs controller. Everybody's heard the story of the glow plugs seizing in the cylinder head and they break off, and it's a total freaking nightmare. And a lot of oil leaks. Tremendous valve cover and oil filter housing leaks. And you know the oil pan's leaking. You know it is. And so the same is almost identical. So identical, I didn't even print off the M47 stuff because it's all identical in the four-cylinder diesel. Now, going through to the N57 engine, right? And going through to this one, it's a little bit different, but not much at all. And this also is followed by the B57, the B47, which would be the four-cylinder equivalent. So the N57 timing chain wear issues. Now, on these cars, the timing chain wear. So what would N57 be? What would that be? 2013-ish? 2013-ish on up. I'll put the dates in the video if I think about it. And the N57 has the damn timing chain stretching problem and timing chain wear. Ordinarily won't be that big of a deal, but the timing chain is on the back of the engine. And so it means transmission out and a lot of effort and a lot of time to replace that. And you're saying, well, Nathan, you got a shop, you have all these tools, you have a lift. Yeah, I do. I'm not scared of me buying that. I'm scared of you guys buying that. And you have to pay a shop to do that job, which is going to be a mind-numbing amount of money. And you don't have those issues anymore with the newer gasoline engines. You just don't, right? Let's recap again. N57, along with the N47, timing chain wear, spun rod bearings. It's an interesting one. Vibration dampener, EGR systems issues, diesel particulate filter issues, DPF, intake swirl flaps, oil leaks, and this one has one more added to it, which is a high pressure fuel pump, along with the timing chain issues. The spun rod bearings, a lot of these get left go 15,000 miles in oil change, 10 to 15,000. The internet says if you change your oil every 5,000 miles, you never have a rod bearing problem. Okay. Is that true? We don't know. That's what somebody speculates. One thing's for damn sure, you spend the rod bearings on your diesel engine, it's going to cost you some pretty good money. Probably more than the car is worth. And the whole thing is laid out here. You got to watch what you buy. You could easily buy something that was mechanically totaled. So let's give a scenario here. You go buy a car, you get a loan for 15, 20 grand, let's say 20 grand, right? You got a loan for 20 grand this car. You drive it 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months, you're making payments on it, and the engine blows up. The engine costs 5 grand just to buy a used engine. Then you got to pay somebody to put it in. You got to pay somebody a lot to put it in because it's got to need other stuff when you install it. And then it kind of makes the car not worth fixing. If you don't have 5 or 10 grand to throw at an engine, then what? This puts most people in financial heartache and puts them in eventually a bankruptcy because they can't get their way out of it. See that all the time. And to the point to where before I even take anything, I try to make any customer aware I'm working on the car fully ahead of time. This is how much it could cost. This is how much I think it'll cost. And hopefully this is how much it costs as the scale slides down, right? But you always have that possibly maybe scenario. If you buy a gas engine, do you have the issues? It depends on what gas engine it is. It really does. And you're saying, well, the hell with BMW, I'm going to go buy me a Kia or a Hyundai or a Dodge, Ford, or Chevy. Let me tell you, in 2026, things go a little differently. That could be a lot more expensive than a BMW. Any of those models there, any of their trucks or cars, they have a high rate of engine failure. They've had this for, 15 years? Really, really, really bad engine failure and transmission failure. And people will go buy these cars that we know, and the engine will blow up, or the transmission will blow up, and they call me to fix them, but you can't fix it. There's no fixing. I can't fix the car. You go to buy an engine that's, $3,000 on a $6,000 car, then you still got to put it in? No. Why does the engine for a cheap car cost that much? Because everybody needs one. If you got to buy an engine for a car, nobody needs an engine or a transmission for it. There's no demand. Those engine and transmissions are dirt cheap. Before you buy a car, no matter what it is, go look up how much a replacement engine is for it. If it costs a lot of money, they had engine problems. If you could buy a transmission like for a Scion for $150, an engine for $500, well, they don't have many engine problems then, right? That's kind of how the whole system works. So back to this, is it worth buying a diesel in America in 2026? Absolutely not. That makes 0 sense at all. 0 cents. You might get a little bit better fuel. You might get a little better fuel economy. Is it going to be enough to offset another $1.25 a gallon for gas? No. One timing chain job or one blowing turbo job could turn it into thousands of dollars. It will turn into thousands of dollars very quickly. Not to mention the weather. Even though the newer diesel stuff doesn't have such an issue with cold starting and sub-zero temperatures, but in America, it gets cold. It gets real cold. And it freezes diesels up here every single year. We see that. Most of us on trucks, as everybody watching the videos that's in America knows, Americans love diesel trucks. They love half-ton, three-quarter-ton, and one-ton diesel trucks. Are those practical? Absolutely not. They have the engines is on par with the same price as a Ferrari engine. You can spend up to 10 to 20 grand on those engines. When it breaks, it breaks. You're not going to fix that on the side of the road, and it's broken. To get maybe on a full-size diesel pickup, maybe a couple miles better the gallon, maybe. That's debatable. But where you're seeing right now, a lot of those trucks are parked and they're not driving them with diesel on average $5.25 a gallon. Doesn't make sense. Those are novelty vehicles, especially in a pickup truck. Obviously, semi-trucks are different, right? Your dump trucks, all that kind of stuff. But that doesn't have the pickup truck engine in it. That has the big boy engine in it. That's special purpose equipment. And I tell people all the time, if Nathan, what kind of tow vehicle you have? What kind of tow vehicle should I buy? Looking to tow a vehicle. And I say, well, it all depends on what you're doing in life. Do you like replacing transmissions and engines? If you do, then go buy that Ford, Chevy, or Dodge with the diesel. That thing will grenade itself immediately, almost immediately. Especially the newer it is, the worse it is. Everything here gets pulled with the Toyota, with the TUZ Toyota Sequoia. You can pull it with the Tundra. You can do whatever you want. Unless you're pulling more than 2 cars, in that case, DOT is not going to be okay with you doing that unless you have a special CDL license. What do you need the diesel for? What do you need the diesel for? You say, "No, Nathan, you're so silly. How many miles have I driven with the car hauler behind? Several 100,000. How many transmissions have I replaced in these Tundras and Sequoias? 0. How many engines have I replaced? 0. Everybody else that I'm friends with that tow stuff, how many engines they replace? We don't want to talk about that. So you just have to figure out, the moral of this whole story is how to keep yourself from being basically defrauded by a manufacturer on vehicles. We see this all the time. Don't buy the wrong vehicle, whether it's your daily driver. If you don't need a diesel, nobody really needs a diesel, unless you're pulling multiple cars, then probably not. Don't put your neck out there and get caught. Is a diesel car worth it? No. Watch out for your gas engines. Gas engines have a lot of issues too. I don't know, just an old man's advice for you guys. That's my thought on the diesel engines. If you live in a different country where the diesel is the same price as gas or cheaper, maybe this makes more sense. In the US of A right now, it makes absolutely 0 cents unless it's a secondary car and driven as a novelty car. That's a novelty car. Driven as that, then okay. Got some extra 20 grand laying around. Hey man, go ahead, knock yourself out. But if you're trying to daily drive stuff, bad choice. Bad choice. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again with another video. So let me know what you think in the comments.